Welcome back to another session of Miracle Moments. My name is Crystal Green. I'm a managing director here with the Super Patch Company, and I've been in the industry for nearly 2 decades. Today, I am delighted to see all of you here because we are going to explore the transformative world of recruiting. We will focus on unlocking your recruiting potential through the powerful trio of confidence, passion, and unwavering faith in your business. So we're going to get started, and I'll kind of set your mood here today with a story. Okay. And so in the early days of my network marketing journey, I grappled with anxiety. Recruiting people to my team caused me so much stress. My initial calls or text messages out made me feel so unsure about myself and doubtful. However, over time, I discovered that success stems from perseverance and the willingness to learn from my mistakes. So gradually, I built my confidence through small wins and shifts in my mindset. And we talk a lot about shifting your mindset, believing what you say, what you believe, what you do matters. So rather than viewing recruiting as a sales pitch, I began to share my journey from a place of genuine passion for helping other people. And that's always been what it is for me is I want to help others, but I was showing up as someone else. So I started focusing on storytelling and asking insightful questions. I was able to share, what my incredible opportunity was. And then I was able to show potential business partners what the mutual benefit would be for joining my mission. Okay. And I want you guys to be thinking about this as we share today is what is your story? Okay. Think about that. But I'll be honest, in the last part of 2024, this strategy got away from me. The strategy of telling my story. I stopped telling my story and started trying to sell my story. And I was trying to recruit, and people saw right through me. All right. So it's often like we talk about going somewhere and having, so you walk on a car lot and they are just pushing. I use cars all the time because they get a bad rep, and I love everyone that out there that's selling a car, just so you know. But the reality is they just they push their agenda for the sale instead of listening to what the person needs. So in December, when I did the self analysis and realized, okay, what slowed myself? What slowed my recruiting down? Right. And I realized that I needed to go back to my roots, which my roots, me sharing my genuine story, me sharing my genuine passion is what's made me a top global leader, top global recruiter in every other company I've been with. So I thought, getting back to my roots is what matters. Sharing my story, being authentic to myself. This has made a world of difference for me. And, even now, it being January, I'm still planting seeds and I'm nurturing those leads, but it's coming more naturally again. And that's what matters. I realize that recruiting is fundamentally about sharing a life changing opportunity and understanding how you can meet the needs of those that you're speaking to. So today we're going to share techniques that not only help me succeed, but that can also empower you for your recruiting journey. Is everyone excited? Okay, good. I'm excited. Good. Okay. So our objectives for today, we have 5. Our objectives for today, number 1, is to identify who we should recruit and why it matters. Number 2, and I'll put these in the comments here too. Number 2 is build and maintain self-confidence. Number 3, we're going to focus on explore a variety of effective recruiting strategies. So I'm going to give you tips on how to reach out or who to reach out to. Number 4 is creating a welcoming and supportive environment for new recruits. So the people that join our team, what do we do with them? And then number 5 is cultivate a deep passion and firm faith in our mission. So let's start by clarifying who we're looking to recruit. So consider the qualities that you seek in a business partner. Ideal candidates are often those who are motivated, so people that possess the drive to succeed and are eager to take initiative, entrepreneurial, Those people are, people that have a mindset centered around innovation or open to new opportunities. Most of us should fall into these three categories, right? Number three, this one's probably most important for me because you can come in here with no experience. That's what I love about network marketing is you could come in here with no experience as long as you're coachable. So number three would be coachable. They demonstrate that willingness to learn and to grow. So I want you to consider, and also consider recruiting people that are passionate about sharing what they love. That's important too, right? So I would love if some of you would share characteristic traits you look for in potential recruits. So what are some things that you guys look for when it comes to bringing people onto your team? Are you intentional about that? And you can just unmute and share.
Hey, Crystal. I guess I
Morning.
would have to say my number one thing is the person's energy. Like if they're like negative, I don't even want to go there because it's going to be a hard load to pull and I'm too old to pull. So definitely have to have positive energy.
Like that. And you guys, the beautiful thing about building our businesses is we get to choose who we work with. Now, I mean, sometimes there's people, stragglers that come into your team, but you get to choose who you personally enroll. And I am quite selective as well, Mary, when it comes to that. I don't want any bad mojo, no bad energy coming onto my team. What are some other things that you guys look for in a person? Some characteristics. You guys just, you pick anyone? Unmute, share.
Crystal, I think I would say I look for someone who cares. If
Yes.
they don't care, and then that goes with the energy also, but if they don't care, it's not going to matter.
That's right. That's right. Thanks, Rev. Absolutely, because don't just want people here that are necessarily just for the money. Yes, some of those people can be really great salespeople, but the culture that we're cultivating here with Super Patch, like it matters. It matters that they care, and you have to be a person that comes from that mindset because you're talking to people about very vulnerable issues, and honestly, that goes in hand with most network marketing in general, where especially those Me Too products out there, right? Like these are specific needs that people have and they're vulnerable. And if they get comfortable enough to share that with you, you absolutely need to care. You absolutely. Kimberly said motivation. Yep. You need people that are motivated. Lori, are you unmuted? Go ahead and share.
Integrity, not, I guess it kind of combines everything that's been said already. But if someone really has integrity to show up, to say what they mean, do what they say they're going to do, I think that makes a big difference too. Um, and not only from that standpoint with them, but also yourself, you know.
Don't short yourself. Absolutely. Absolutely. I agree with you. Integrity matters. If you don't want people that are going to come in and not do what they say they're going to do or do the opposite, right? So I absolutely agree with that. And then holding on to your moral standpoint, that's big for me. I always say principle will be the death of me because for me, I'm like, but that's not right. I feel like it's just embedded in us to fight for righteousness. And so I agree with you. Integrity matters. Dana.
Yes, I was going to say someone that actually has a story or are close to people who have a story, meaning in what we do. So because that gives you the passion, and without passion, it's really hard. I can't sell anything without unless I really feel it. I mean, I
Yeah.
can't do products. So I've always had to have a passion and believe in what I was doing,
Yeah.
and I think people like that.
I like that. I like that. Thank you, Dana. Yeah, absolutely. The story helps. And for us, we're really lucky with Super Patch because we put a patch on them and 10 seconds later they have a story. Literally, they're like, this patch works. And then there's 13 patches they get to choose from and they get to feel that experience with each and every one of them. And not just, I would say, Dana, not just the story of our product, even though that's really important from the passion side. I'm with you. I can't sell anything I don't believe in, but just someone that doesn't even know they have a story yet. You know, there's so many people that are like, well, what importance do I have? And as leaders, it's our job to show them, kind of cultivate and craft, where take everything that they've told you, that you've learned through discovery, that you've learned through relationship building and loving on them and getting to know them, and you help them craft their story. And not craft can sound really cheesy, but what I mean by that is just say, well, don't you know what you've been through? Don't you? And edify that, because some people brush. I am that person. I'm that person that's like, oh, it's not that bad. But it has been that bad in some cases. I just kept a positive mindset. So to teach someone that those things matter, the things that the world tells you you don't need to talk about or stop complaining about and all of those. Well, when you craft it into a story, which is storytelling, right? When you craft it into your why, and you know, you can share that experience, then people, you know, one, it empowers you and to overcome the things that you've done. And I know that just from experience. That's why I started sharing on social media, is that I needed an outlet, and then I needed to inspire, encourage other people, because that's what was making me hang on. So I love that, Dana, you know, having a story, knowing why you're here, you know. Okay, so back on to building genuine relationships. It's crucial for our recruiting success, right? It's about creating connections and sharing the opportunity, not merely just making a sales pitch and telling them, you know, like, wow, do you deal with pain? I've got that for you. Listen, I could make cheesy commercials all day long. I could do it all day long. Some people might watch it for a while. I've been one to watch a couple infomercials and poke fun. But the reality is when I come authentically and I share, people are going, okay, what is this about? They want to see real people. That's what they relate to. Real people relate to real people. And if you're looking to recruit leaders, they're looking for leaders. So people that show up consistently, people that show up authentically, people that show up with confidence. And I'm not saying, listen, I've got someone who has been in network marketing 3 times as long as I have, and that person gets super uncomfortable on lives. They get super uncomfortable on Zooms. They fumble over their words, and they have led tens of 20s of thousands of people underneath them in their organization. It's just something that they get a little nervous about, but they still show up. And so that authenticity shines through that person, because, you know, people can say, oh yeah, I'd get a little nervous doing that too. But look, they're doing it. They're looking for people that are doing the things they want to be doing. So when you're thinking about the people you want to recruit, you have to remember, who would you want to recruit, right? Like who would you want? Would you want them to be most like what you are now, who you are now, your characteristics now, your priorities now? Or do you have space and room to grow in that, right? So I want you to think back, and you don't have to comment, or you don't have to unmute, but you can comment. But think back to a time when someone approached you with an idea in a genuine way. How did that feel? How did that connection feel for you?
Can I unmute?
Yeah, go ahead. You can unmute. You can unmute or type, either way. They cared about me. Yes, Debbie.
I was gonna say that it just resonated with me,
Yeah,
and it just clicked, like, oh, the aha thing.
right. It felt real.
Right.
Yeah, I love that. Empowering. They cared and it resonated. Yes, I love that. Thank you guys so much for sharing that. So that sense of authenticity is crucial. It's a crucial lesson in our recruiting strategy. We have to come from a place of authenticity. Okay. So let's talk about building your confidence. Confidence is vital for recruiting success. We talked about that just a little bit. I touched on it. But one powerful source of confidence comes from our faith. So believing in a higher power above everything, God can provide us with strength and reassurance. We just know that we can approach it with that. But here are some other effective techniques to bolster your self-confidence. So this is where you get to kind of write. And listen, you guys, if you don't get it all down, I'll share these notes when I post into our team group. I'll share. If you're watching on YouTube later, you got to join our team to get them. So faith as a foundation. Okay, so that would be the number one one of the techniques that I would tell you. So faith as a foundation. Embrace the idea that you are capable and deserving of success. Establish a daily practice of prayer and meditation to seek guidance, clarity, and strength. And reflecting on passages from spiritual texts can serve, as a reminder for your potential and for, what's out there for you to claim, right? There's lots of promises in scripture that we leave unclaimed, like 2000 some. And so if you just dive in, there's lots of promises there that he's just waiting for you to ask for. Role play scenarios. So this would be another one. Role play scenarios. Pair up and practice different recruiting conversations. So this can help you become more familiar and comfortable in your outreach. When I say recruiting scenarios, I'm talking about practice discovery. And we've talked about that before. And discovery is just a conversation, but it gets to be a little intimidating for people because they're like, oh, I got to talk to this person and be a little vulnerable now. But it really matters. It matters when you are diving into, especially with what we have here, we have a solution for all these different needs. And I don't know many people that are just going to come. I mean, yes, if you're struggling with pain, it takes them about 5 seconds before they open up to you because we're desperate. We need something for pain now. But those people that are struggling on a deeper level, maybe they're not sleeping. They have, stress and anxiety that's overwhelming them. They're dealing with the loss of someone they loved, like different things. This takes a little bit of deeper conversation, and that comes through discovery. So when you find a partner, and we try to do these on Zooms with you where we'll like randomly call on someone, but then it's always a little weird because we always know a little bit more about the person and we don't know, do we go into full character and pretend like we're someone else? And so my suggestion to you would be, hey, role play scenario, get a partner, say, hey, I'm going to call you. Let's just work through these. And you really just let loose and be comfortable. So if it's someone you can be comfortable with, you can also do this with your sponsor, your leader, or just reach out to someone. If you ever want to just role play and we've got time to do it, I'm here for you. Right. So just practicing how you overcome some of those, and don't make them super easy for each other either. Sometimes you got to throw a little challenge in there. So that way, when you're getting through, you don't think everyone's just like, oh yeah, I'd like to sign up, Kim. Thanks. They give you a little rebuttal. They fight back just a little bit. So incorporate that. Daily positive affirmations. So identify one strength you possess and remind yourself of it daily. A thought held for 17 seconds. Listen, I'm going to put my notes down here for 2 seconds. A thought held. This is science. And Jay talks about science all the time, and I don't understand it. But a thought held for 17 seconds is one that embeds into your mind and becomes reality. So what we're going to do is actually hold a thought for 17 seconds. I'm going to literally start a time watch or stopwatch. And you're going to put up your hand real quick once you have it. Okay. I want you to think about the goal you have in 2025, your super patch, your business goal. Okay. I want you to fit, and I want it to be realistic, and I want you to feel it. I want you to envision it. Okay. So we're going to literally like close our eyes. We're going to envision that goal. And we're going to hold that thought. This is the goal I'm going to achieve. In 2025, I will do this. Are you ready? Hi, Steve. In 2025, I will do this. So did you just jump on, Steve? So 17 seconds, we're going to hold a thought. So once you have that thought, your goal for 2025 with Super Patch, raise your hand. Okay, I'm looking. If I can't see on screen, I'm going to go without you. Sorry, I love you. All right. Ready? 17 seconds, that thought. I am going to do this in 2025. Good. Perfect. Good job, you guys. All right. Did you believe it? Did you feel it? Now you need to do that every single day. 17 seconds of your day. That's not a lot. It's not a lot to embed a positive thought into your mind. Okay. So that's just something I heard and something we're going to put into habit. But another example of affirmations, besides the ones that we talk about all the time, I can, I will, or excuse me, I am, I can, I will, I must. Example would be I'm guided and supported by a higher power in my endeavors. God supports me. I'm going to achieve this, and insert what it is this that you're going to achieve. Okay. Another is visualization techniques. So spend quiet time visualizing yourself successfully recruiting new members, imagining not only the process, but the positive impact your work will have on others. So you picture that energy. You picture that person that comes in and they're motivated and they're authentic and they have integrity and they're caring and they are eager to learn and they're coachable. You picture those people and you picture the crowd that you're grabbing them from, right? So visualization techniques really do work. And then takes time to, celebrate small victories as well along the way, which is super important for your confidence. It's really important. So these things are deep on you. These aren't your recruiting techniques, right? These are the techniques to help you cultivate more confidence for yourself. It matters what you think of yourself. It matters what you say about yourself. And it also reflects in how your team views you. It reflects in how your family views you. It reflects in how strangers view you. If any of you have ever gone into a grocery store, big brand name stores, they don't pay us to say their name, but they start with a W, right? Have you ever walked in? Have you ever walked in and you just know the people you can smile and wave to, but the rest of the people heads down and they're going? Okay. You can tell energy. You can tell, who's got that light, who's gravitating toward you, who you gravitate toward, and it matters. And so when you speak nicely to yourself, and listen, a lot of people are like, but I don't believe that. It's because you've been trained not to believe that. Your brain has been trained to think negatively. I grew up in a household where I was called the most awful things. I was told that I would never amount. I was a heavier child. I was brutally verbally abused as well as physically, but the verbal abuse is what stuck, right? And physical pain that heals, but the verbal abuse is what stuck. So as an adult, as I venture in, I've learned over the years that's not me. What they said to me, what I was conditioned to believe I was or the person I was, isn't who I am. And so I had to retrain my mind, and I still have to do it. That's why daily practice matters. That's why you have to take daily time for personal development, because that confidence builds not just in the action, but in the repetitive notion that you continue to show up in that sense. Okay. And so trust me when I say to you, what people tell you about you does not have to be true unless you allow it to be true, right? You can change your character at any time. Changing your character is not changing who you are. It's not faking who you are. It's choosing to show up in a different light and then being consistent with following up in that light. Some of you have known me for almost 2 years, some of you longer, but some of you have known me almost 2 years. I have shifted in the last 2 years because I chose to, right? Gayleen, she came up to me in Super Patch event. She said, "You've changed so much in the last year." And I'll tell you, I'll be honest with you, Gayleen, I got a little offended. I was like, I wasn't that bad in my mind. And then later I wasn't, I'm not. I appreciate you. I love that you can see my growth and I appreciate you for that. But I had to put myself into my new mindset of, wow, that's my friend and she's complimenting me because she sees the progress that I've made from the changes that I've intentionally made. Why wouldn't I want her to say, "You've totally changed"? Because I have, and it's on purpose. But it takes that everyday practice. I do not wake up confident. I do not wake up ready. You guys, I pushed my alarm too many times this morning. I rushed to get ready, which makes everything worse. I'm telling you, it doesn't just happen naturally. You have to always be practicing that, always be reminding yourself, even if that means feeling silly, looking in the mirror and talking to yourself and literally saying, "You've got this. You can do this today. You're beautiful. You're capable. You're loving. You're caring. Your character drives people to you. This is, you have to." Thank you, Lori. So are you. I'm so glad we got to meet in Orlando. But you really have to embed that in your mind. And it doesn't matter who believes it of you as long as you believe it of you. right? And listen, when people show up in your life, and I've had this a lot. I have, because I wasn't always, me. Now, I was somebody else 10 years ago, and I wasn't a nice person. I was cranky and mad at the world because that's what I was conditioned to be. I was conditioned to be this negative person. I grew up in a very big city in an area that was full of crime. Like I was conditioned to be that person. And when I chose that I needed to make that shift, there are people that are still from my past life, right? My former self, that see me in that light, or that will only ever see me in that light. And I've had to learn to grow past that. That helps with your confidence when you realize that you're showing up for you and not them. You're showing up for you. And as you show up for you, you can help other people. But if you wake up, Mary, every day and you say, I'm not good enough, guess what? When you go out to talk to that potential recruit, they're going to think she's not good enough. She doesn't have confidence in herself. I need to be led by someone who believes I can achieve this. And if they don't believe they can achieve it, how do I know I'm going to succeed here? Confidence matters. Affirmations, I love affirmations. They matter. Okay. So, let's take a moment to celebrate our small victories because we want to boost our confidence. So, what is a recent success that you've achieved that you'd like to share? It could be reaching out to a new contact, having an impactful conversation, recruiting someone brand new, making a sale. What is a success that you've had? Let's keep it Super Patch related just for today, but what is a small success you've had in your business recently? And you can just unmute or put it in the comments if you'd like. Go ahead, Kim.
I recently finally was able to get my brother some patches. He finally received them. He agreed to it. Now it's just he got it about a week and a half ago. It took a couple months but anyways, that's irrelevant. But he got them. But it's getting now. It's the process of getting him to wear them. He's like, I will try, and it's like, no. You will do it.
Yep.
You won't try, you will do it. Getting him in that mindset, had a situation where we're not really talking, but I'm still doing that. It's like, okay, enough of this living in the past. Let's do this.
Yeah.
I will do it. Not try, but actually do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I love that. Yoda says, don't try, do. I don't even know. I don't really know Yoda, but I've heard it once in a while. Maybe Jay would be proud of that, Steve, because he made a couple Star Wars jokes on stage, and I was like, he's an undercover nerd, and it's awesome. Kim, I love that. I love that you're motivating him. Something that comes to mind is you can lead a horse to water, but you can't make him drink. So you could put those patches in his presence, and your light, you showing up confidently, you reminding him, brother, this is how it's helped me. This is how it's helped so many other people. Just please wear it. Just please. And come from a place of love. I know that you're doing this already, but come from a place of love and just remind him, I want to see you have help. I'm not putting these on you because I want to make money from you. I'm putting these on you because you need them. So I love that you shared that. Thank you so much. Teresa. Oh, wait, there's a couple up here. I'll start with Teresa Teddy. I've motivated 2 of my team members to order patches and share the results wearing the patches with others. One is now working on recruiting. That's beautiful. I love that. And sometimes they just need that reminder. Sometimes they just need that reminder and just to get back in there and say, hey, you fell out a little bit over the holidays or whatever it was. Maybe they had a bad month and they were just like, it's not for me. That's the confidence side. If you can gain that confidence back, or you can help them in small increments like you just did, Teresa, they're going to show up again. And so just it's never an old dog laying. Okay. You can wake them back up. You can get them to play ball. I promise. Signed up for a market event from Esther. Esther, that's awesome. What kind of marketing event are you doing? Will you unmute?
Yeah. Yeah, it's kind of like traditionally we call them more like bazaars up here. It's at a greenhouse where once a month they are doing an event where vendors can come to it.
Love that. I love that. So good. So are you going to reserve maybe every month and just get out there?
Yes, if I can do it, I will.
Yeah. I mean, that's ideal because you're in Alaska, right?
Correct.
Yeah.
Yes.
So that's beautiful. That's like a key way to get in front of people and new people every single month. And listen, just be yourself. Just be yourself, share your story. People are going to love it. I'm so excited. I can't wait to hear for it. Thank you for sharing that. I appreciate you. Okay, let's see. What are some other ones? We did a 2-day vendor show and it was outside in the cold, but we did 9 demos. And although we had no sales, we sowed seeds. Oops. With the people we reached out to. I love that, Rev. And I'm sure you got contacts. And we were talking while we were down in Orlando. They do these events all the time. And Rev, will you unmute and just say, will you just share how you approach people to do the demo while you're at these events?
Hello.
Hello.
Yeah, I asked them if they've ever heard of Super Patch. That's a great entry here because Super Patch is not well known here in DFW. And so, no, what is it? And then I go on to share that it's new technology and then just get them to a point of looking at our signs to see what the indications are that we can help. And then say, would you like to see it actually happen right now? And then I do a demo with them.
Would you say, sorry, Steve, you can intertwine. I just have one question. Would you say that if I walked up to your booth and you were like, so this is Super Patch and I've been wearing it for a little while.
Right.
You want to try it? It might work for you right now. Or does it matter how you approach them with confidence and knowing, as a matter of fact, this does work in seconds. Let me show you. That matters, right? Sorry, you unmuted. Yeah, that matters. I love that. I love that you have the confidence. Go ahead, Steve.
Hey, Rev, when we were doing this show at the rodeo in Las Vegas, I'd stand right in the middle of the aisle. Like I'd make people walk around me. I wanted to create chaos. And I would always say to them, people would walk up and I'd make eye contact and I'd say, hey, do you guys find anything, interesting here? Do you find anything pretty cool? And they go, yeah, there's some cool stuff here. I said, no, I've got the coolest thing here. They're like, what? I said, no, trust me, I've got the coolest thing here. They're like, what? I said, come here, let me show you something. And then I do the demo right in the alleyway. And so people are walking around us and they're all stopping to see how it works. But that's what I do, Rev. You are the show expert. I know you are. But I'm just telling you what I did, and it worked really well.
That is awesome, Steve. Thank you. I will be using that. And I'm doing a show this weekend that will work perfectly because the aisles are narrow, and I will clog it up.
And you kind of circle that fills pretty quick, don't you?
Oh, yeah, I'm big. And so, and by the way, Steve, an expert is a drip under pressure, right?
There you go. I love that.
Something that when I go to vendor events, and I'm usually a support person at vendor events, my team will host them and I'm like, okay, tell me when and where we're going to go. Kim, we've been to these, right? We step away from the table. I'm like, okay, listen, people aren't coming to the table yet. You got to go talk to all the other vendors. Because what happens is now people are walking by, they see all these patches. Oh, you can't see mine. They're on. Look, we talked about this last night. They're here, I promise. But they see all these patches. There we go. And they're going, as people are walking by, they're going, well, what's that patch? Where'd you get that from? Oh, that table over there. Because now you've already made all these vendors. And guys, just a tidbit, they're already entrepreneurs. They're already entrepreneurs. So why wouldn't you talk to people that are already out there with the mindset that you have? So when you guys go off to those vendor events, if you're not focusing on other vendors as well, get there a little early, stay a little late, have conversations, pay attention to your neighbors at your other tables or other booths. Watch, my back. Oh, I'm stressed. Patch them up every time. I love that. Go ahead, Steve.
One more thing, Rev, this is what I do. We got to be really good friends with the people on either side of us. And so when we were done with them, I said, listen, you got to check out what this guy's doing. You got to check out what she's got, because they started doing the same thing to us. And so they were sending people to our booth as well. So it works.
I love that so much.
Yep.
Lori, I saw you sign. Oh, sorry. Go ahead. Unmute. Talk.
No, I'm saying that's biblical. Do unto others as you'd have them do unto you, right?
Yeah.
Amen. I see that Lori signed up for a holistic event. That's going to be amazing. Right up your alley.
Yeah.
Mary, go ahead.
This is Super Patch related. I did my first live. It was like last week. I was scared to do this for like over a flippin' year. And when I did it, it was like really? That's it? And I had, I forget how many, over like 200 some views and lots of comments. And so I've got a lot of people to build relationships with now. And it was a silly fear. It was just, it was a boogeyman that didn't exist. So I'm proud of myself.
I'm proud of you. I'm proud of you. Listen, lives can be intimidating. Only because you show up and you think you have to be perfect, like you're putting on a big show. And I have to remind myself, I talk to you guys every day. I come on Zooms all the time. Why can't I go live and talk about something I'm very confident in sharing? Because we do it all the time. But I think we have to get out of our head a little bit. You know, we worry about what are people going to think? What rebuttals are they going to say while we're on live? And we just can't let that get in our way. There's a delete button, a block button for a reason. Mary, make sure you follow up with those people. Don't let them hang or linger for too long. Take some intentional time and reach out to them, and just thank them. If they interacted with your live at all, just thank them and say, hey, I'm new to this live deal. I just wanted to come on, whatever you feel like sharing, but just show appreciation for them interacting. Once you do that, they'll interact more. So how you feed your network matters and how they feel appreciated. Yes. Okay, let's jump back in. So knowledge is the backbone of confidence in recruiting. Okay, so when it comes to, and that just goes in hand with what we just talked about with the lives, if I came live and I didn't know what patches we have, or I didn't have an experience with our patches, or I didn't have at least a foundation, like a fundamental understanding of how the technology works, enough to explain, right? You put it on your skin reads this little QR code thing, sends a message to your brain if you want to be really relaxed with it. And that's all. You guys don't need to be. Don't try to be a scientist. Jay says this over and over and over again. It's for a reason. The science is there. The explanation of the science is in places we can grab it. Share that experience that you have. Share your fire, your passion, and that's what's going to matter. But ensure that you're also well versed in what we have. If you are out there sharing a product that you don't know what you've got yet, your energy better be super high because that's what's going to gravitate people to you. Otherwise, make sure you can give them some information. Have some patches next to you. You don't have to have all of them. You don't have to show all of them right away, but have some information with you. It's like leaving and not having your patches with you and then getting to the restaurant or to the gas station or to the park or to the meeting and finding that someone's struggling. Right? You want to make sure you have something to be able to help them because we are helpers. Know the products, know the compensation plan. I'm not telling you have to memorize it backwards, but you got to know how you make money here. It matters. Okay. Especially if you're looking to recruit networkers, people that you want to lead, those people that are defined by what you shared earlier. That matters for you to know, at least have it in front of you. I got like 18 copies. They're all over my house. They're in my office. I've got one folded up in my purse. I've got one, picture on my phone. I make sure that I have that and our Super Patch 8 marketing advantages. I have those all the time too. And these are in a couple places in my house too, because I'm on calls all day. So some of you have been on 3-ways with me, Jeanette, right? Like we jump on a call and I'm listing these things out. Guys, I don't have it all memorized all the time, but eventually it comes natural. I think Steve could do the opportunity. Go ahead, Steve.
Let me just jump on that just for a second. For the sake of protecting the innocent, I just got off a 3-way call with somebody. Okay, I'm not going to tell you who it is. And the problem is that this person talked way too much. Okay, I'm like, no, you introduce me and let me run. And I'm just kind of listening, trying to jump in. But he was trying to go through what Super Patch was all about, and there was no rhyme or reason to it whatsoever. He was over here, then down here, then down here. I'm like, you've got to do this. However you explain it, you guys, it has to flow. It has to make sense. But he started off saying, we've got a patch to help people sleep. We've been in business for 15 years, and we've got this. I'm like, wait. Let them know that we have been in business for 15 years, and we developed a patch that does this. But it was just ping pong. So however you want to explain it, just make sure that the information flows so the person listening to you can follow that story. And yes, I can do it in my sleep.
Well, and the thing is, you guys, and Steve's not saying say it exactly how I say it. Notice that wasn't what he said. He said, find out what flows for you. And that's why we always encourage, get on the opportunity calls. Don't miss them. Get on and listen. If bring guests, but get on and listen regardless, because every time you listen, I have someone that's coming on. I spoke to her yesterday. She'll probably eventually watch this. I'm excited she's coming, but she's been on like 17 opportunity calls at this point. I mean, so you can point out how many months I've been talking to her. Okay. I'm not exaggerating. She's been on every opportunity call you could possibly imagine, but she's like, well, I just want to learn more. And every time I show up, I'll follow up with her and she tells me something else she learned. And I'm like, wow, you picked up on that and you've watched 10, you just picked up on it. Same thing goes for us, though. The more we plug into listening to experts present it, right? And at this point, I think we can all agree that Steve is an expert presenter. Okay. He knows that presentation, he knows our opportunity. So the more we plug into that and listen and absorb it, the better it's going to come off on for us and the more natural. So the more knowledgeable you are, the more natural you become and the more confidence radiates from you, because you can only fake it for so long. Okay. Eventually you're going to get tongue tied and then you're going to be in your own head. Right. So I want you to think about specific areas that you feel like you need to learn about to enhance your confidence. Okay. And I'd actually like you to share that in the comments. What specific areas in your business? Now, this is business, right? This is the knowledge side, not necessarily your confidence, but confidence in your product, in your opportunity, in your team, in your community. What specific areas do you need to learn more about to enhance your confidence? Rev, compensation plan. Thank you. Yes. I often, people think they need to know this thing backwards. Okay. Here's the thing. If you have someone that comes on and does not know this comp plan, and you can see how much I use it, it's all wrinkled. But if they don't know what they can achieve here, they're going to be really upset when they miss some bonuses. Okay. So it's important that we know how to get them started, the fast starts, how much money are they going to earn? What do they earn and how do they get paid if they make a sale versus enroll someone? How do they make the bigger bonuses? How do they rank up? Different things like that you can listen to training or we can do more, of course, but you don't need to know it backwards, but you need to know what you need to achieve. When I first started, strategic placement was a new thing, right? Like Steve and Carrie didn't have strategic placement before I came. It literally was like right now, the month I joined. And I was like, well, tell me how your strategic placement works. And they're like, we're figuring it out because we just got it. Okay. So all their options were to build wide all day long and pray and hope you get a runner that comes into the downline and runs with you no matter where they are, right? So then you build wide. Well, now we have strategic placement, okay? Because Jay and corporate team realize this is crucial for building your team, right? We're builders. Okay. So now instead of seeing, okay, we can only go wide, now we go, okay, 3, maybe 4, depending on how many, strong legs you have. And then we build our team. So if I've got 30 people come in this month, those 30 people are being built in my team. I'm putting them into my organization with my people that are here, that are showing up, that have that, not that have the confidence or the experience, the people that are actively showing up. People that are buildable. And I've touched base on this before. A buildable person is someone that's getting active, someone that's showing up to Zoom, someone that's watching the recordings and you can tell, someone that is active in the community in general. They're utilizing the tools that we have in place. Amazing Patch Stories group, that's a big tool for us, right? It's free. We need to be utilizing it. They're getting to meetings, maybe as many events as they can. They're reaching out to me. They're receptive. They're coachable. Those are all things I look for in a builder because I'm entrusting. Now, if I enrolled Dana, Lori, Mary, Esther, Rev, Steve, Debbie, Jeanette, Gayleen, and Paula today, all of you are awesome. All of you deserve my attention. All of you are eager to learn and build and grow. I can't put them under someone that's not showing up or hardly getting active. Right? Mm-hmm. I can't put them in a leader that just has a title that isn't doing anything. Okay. It matters. It matters. Jay said yesterday, leadership is more than a pin. Leadership equals responsibility. If I'm placing all these people on my screen under a leader, you better believe, I believe that person is now equally as responsible for them because they're going to earn money off those people. Okay. And you guys deserve proper coaching, proper community, proper love, right? And so those things matter when it comes to strategic placement and having the confidence to build. A couple other things. So sorry, I ran on a rabbit trail, but maybe that was essential for you. And I hope that it helped you, because I don't know that everyone knows how incredible it is that we have strategic placement. I've been in companies that don't offer it, and it's hard to build. It's hard to build. We have such a gift to be able to gift our runners, to be able to gift our leaders with people to help them grow. And when you help your downline grow, when you place into your organization, how many of you would love if Steve just passed down 5 people onto your organization today? Right? And I say Steve because he's our papa right now, right? He's top of the line. Okay. He's the first one here. If every single one of you got a random placement today, even just one, I bet every single one of you would be grateful, because it doesn't matter if you earn $1 or $100 or $100,000 from that lead. You would be grateful because he's building on your team and your paycheck. That's the power of strategic placement. That's the power.
Absolutely.
Oh, yes, definitely. But you have to be willing to work with those people. And if you're not a leader showing up, if you're not someone leading by example, showing up with confidence, sure that you can do this, it doesn't mean that you're fully convinced that you can. It just means that you're confident in showing up every day and you're consistent, right? Those things make it a lot easier. Learn how to explain the plain terms on how to make money. Yep. So I think we should do a comp plan training, and just more so less than, because Steve has them, you guys. There's like trainings that show what the comp plan is, but maybe we just open a conversation on the comp plan instead of doing like a run through. We'll do something where we actually talk about it and how you achieve and the important things that you need to know with that. So I love that question is answered. Yes, we are going to simplify it, Lori, for sure. Okay, so let's dive in now to proven recruiting strategies. So now we've talked about being confident, right? We've talked about how you should feel and the people that you're looking to recruit. So let's dive into, how can you connect with potential recruits? So here are a few, and some of them might make you uncomfortable, but they're important for you to know because this is how you recruit people. Ready? This is the one that everyone's going to be turning off their cameras and running. Start with your warm market. Your warm market. Engage with your friends and your family and the people you know. Share your story about how this opportunity transformed your life. And if approaching someone feels intimidating, you need to reflect on what's holding you back. I know that's scary, right? But what if my brother says no? But what if my dad tells me this is just another? What if my uncle's like, oh, you're going to make money doing scamming people again? You doing this again? People that aren't educated on what we do often have this misconception that we're just out there to scam people. Our product is the most affordable it can be because of how we present it to people. The fact that we do it through network marketing, multi-level marketing, is the reason it can be so cheap. Okay. And Jay wants to make sure that we can touch as many lives as possible. Well, I can tell you now that had he sold out for $750 million to Dick's Sporting Goods for that REM patch, right? Had he done that, 90% of us would never even know the REM patch exists because we don't go into Dick's Sporting Goods, right? Now we have friends and family and all these people we know, and we're seeing it on social media and other places. This is where we need to start. We share because we care, right? Ooh, I like it. We share because we care. There we go. And when you share with your family and friends, you're doing it because you truly do care about them. But remember, if you're doing it just for a sale, they're going to see through it. So you come from a place of authenticity, like we mentioned before. You talk to them. And if they turn you down, listen, I don't know many people. And if I do, they're not in my life anymore. And I haven't even noticed because that's how much it matters. I don't know many people that are like, great, Crystal just texted me asking me if I want to try this super patch because I said I was in pain. I'm never talking to her again. I know people that have told me no. And I say, okay, thanks. I know people that are afraid that I'm going to come to their house on Christmas and patch up everybody in their house. That I've been told before in previous companies, don't bring that coffee stuff. That was my mother-in-law. For coffee. We were meeting for coffee. She said, don't bring that coffee stuff. And I was like, what offends you about the fact that I run my own business? Think about that. Okay. If you have people in your life that are offended that you are making a living by helping people, if you have people in your life that are offended by your choices, you need to reflect on if those people are valuable enough to keep in your life. And yes, I know that some of those people come in the form of blood related flesh, and that's a hard notion. But sometimes setting that boundary and knowing, okay, those are just people that I know will never support me when it comes to this, and I just don't bring up the opportunity around them. Okay. And even I know Steve goes through this. I've gone through this. I mean, you guys, many of you have been doing this for long enough to know there are always going to be people that judge you based on what we've chosen. But we are the biggest threat to the corporate America, or globally, in sense, corporate globally, right? Because we get to have uncapped income potential. If you don't believe me, go talk to Lori Petrelli, who is earning $1 million in her first year. Okay, uncapped income potential, right? All right. So another one would be incorporate an incentivized referral program. So encourage your current team members or your customers to refer potential recruits to you and offer incentives like, for your team, offer an incentive for the new people that they bring in. Maybe it's a drawing, maybe it's a coaching session. Just what I would suggest for you, and when it comes to your team, is to draw from the things that you're strong on, right? Let's go back to John C. Maxwell. I have been focusing on that statement. Don't focus on what you're bad at. Focus on your strengths. Work on your strengths, because you're never going to get great at something you suck at. It's just the way it is. You can only go up 2 to 3 points. It's never going to get, anywhere past that. If you're starting at a 1 or a 2, you should probably focus on the things that you're good at. Right? That's where your confidence flourishes. Not say you can't learn a trait and be mediocre at it. I'm just saying anything you want to be great at, you have to invest time in. And those are the things that you focus on. So when it comes to offering incentives, think about some of those things. How about your customers? Listen, over the weekend when we were at Orlando, I patched one person up. Thank you, Mary, that had the same disease that I have, Jay's mom's disease as well. And her and I started talking. Well, that led to me patching her husband and led to me patching 10 more people and getting phone calls from her since. She's yet to sign up. She's yet to order, but she's still sending people my way because I said to her, referrals is the fruit of my business. If people don't talk about it, people won't know about it. All right. So offer incentives to your customers. Offer incentive to anyone you talk to. Gayleen, if you're having a conversation with someone and they're like, not right now, I'm not ready for it right now. It doesn't hurt to ask, okay, but do you know someone who is? Right? Because everyone does. Everyone does. And that can lead to a recruiting conversation later. Utilize social media. So leverage platforms like Facebook, LinkedIn, TikTok, Instagram, all the ones that are out there, and share engaging content about your experiences. I know that some of you are like, I don't use social media. It's the day and age we're in. If we used, if we used the newspaper still, like I wish we did. Honestly, I love reading the newspaper. But if we used the newspaper like we did before, all of us would be posting, wanted ads. Like we would be in there job searching or not recruiting searching, right? We'd be in there looking for people looking for jobs. If we used Craigslist like we used to, okay, we'd be posting ads on there. Say, I used to do it. I was a national recruiter for a merchant processing company. I would post in all these different avenues, ZipRecruiter, all the different things to find people. And then social media became something so cool. It is what it connects us. It brings us into a community and it helps people to display what they're doing. Otherwise, you'd be out there door knocking, and I've done that too. And it's not the best. It's not fun to door knock or cold call. When you're on social media and you can do like live Q&A sessions on your lives, Mary, or you can share personal stories or engage with people based on, their post. Last night I shared about a friend of mine who lost her husband a few years back to suicide, and her family is still struggling. Well, I reached out to them to share the patches with them, and I know that will result in them buying later because I'm confident in what it's going to help them do. But I did it because I care, right? I shared because I cared, and then eventually it'll turn into something else. And now because they've tried it, they're going to be more prone to talk to other people about it and to bring me referrals. So utilize social media. Host informational webinars and casual meetings. Now I'm going to say 2 ways. Okay. So set up online sessions where potential people, recruits can learn more about what we have here in a relaxed setting. We also do that through 3-way call. You can create, informal meetups where you just like meet at a coffee shop and you start sharing. Paula does patch parties. Okay. Delary does patch parties. I know many of you do. All right. So that's something that you could also do. But then, of course, easiest way for you, and again, less effort on your behalf, is we have multiple free opportunity events that you can invite them to every single week. And one is tonight. Steve is going to host for corporate. Get them on these calls. Get them on the calls, show them, get them into, Amazing Patch Stories, get them into the places that the product is going to be in front of their face, not just the product, the testimony, not just the testimony is the result of the product. Their solution is in their face when you get them on opportunity calls and you get them into that group. You can also, put together a lead management system. Yeah, there's ways you can do it online, but the simplest way is to keep a spreadsheet. I'm sure Steve's is literally probably right in front of him. You keep track of who you've outreached to. You keep track of, are they yes, maybe, no's? And Jay is going to send over a spreadsheet that he's put together. Steve, you'll get that, right? And so I'm certain Steve's going to post that in Miracle Workers for us in our team group, so that you can utilize that. But you should be doing that as well as tracking your numbers. But when it comes to recruiting, you need to know who you're talking to. If I were to call any of you, if we got on the phone, if I were to unmute you right now and say how many people, and I'm not going to do this to you because I'm just not, we're all in different ways. Don't get worried and don't log off. But if I were to ask you, who are you talking to right now? I think a bunch of you would be like, let me check my messages quick. Who did I text last? I spoke to someone last week about it. You got to be talking to new people every single day. And part of getting around, how do I talk to new people every single day? Well, first of all, social media is at your hands. You got vendor events, you got grocery store, you've got family and friends, you've got lots of opportunities that you can speak to people, but your confidence matters. You don't know enough about your product, or you don't believe enough in your story, or you don't have experience enough to share your story. You are going to fumble when you try to share, and then you're going to be in your head. You're going to be thinking. When we do these Zooms with you, okay, I think it's very easy for you to see where we're very comfortable and when we're not. Okay, when we're not so comfortable, even as a leader, I will fumble over my words 24/7. The whole time I'm sharing with you, I'm going to be reading my notes. Okay, and yes, I use notes. But if I am comfortable, it's just a conversation, right? So it matters. That matters. You go from presenting to having a conversation. When Steve presents, it's still like a conversation. He's talking to the audience. He's talking to your guest. He's sharing his experience. Okay. And he's got the credibility. This is the other reason you get them on 3-ways with us. You get them on opportunity calls in front of people. It is not because you're relying on that person to make the sale for you. It is because the credibility that we've built in the industry, the credibility we've built just by being here and showing up consistently, by doing the things we've done, by recruiting as many people as we have, all of those things matter to the person that you're trying to recruit. So you can use the leverage of your leadership to help you while you're growing and learning. That is why you do 3-ways. That's why you get them on front of the opportunity. When reaching out to someone about the opportunity, always focus on what they stand to gain. Creating a welcoming environment by hosting these meetings or inviting them to our weekly calls is going to matter, but you need to focus on what they need, right? Okay. And so I welcome you to say, how many of you have actually invited people to an opportunity call? Let me see a show of hands. Keep your hands up. How many of you invited to an opportunity call tonight? Okay, so that's your job today, right? That's your job today, is to think about the people that you can invite to tonight's opportunity call. Okay. Now, maybe that's a verbiage thing. Maybe you're a little intimidated because you're scared to put them in front of the business, right? You got to have a conversation with them. You got to do some discovery. You got to be confident in who you are. Every single person on my screen, and forgive me for those who aren't, but I'm going to focus on the people on my screen right now. I still love whoever's not on camera, but I can't see you. Every person on my screen knows what you have to do right? Every single person here has an experience with the Super Patch. Every single person here has a story. All of you are here because they've helped you, but you are also all here because you want to build a business. Otherwise, you would not be listening to how to build your business. Okay. You'd just be listening to how the patches help people, and that's okay. So I just want you guys to remember that yes, you're building a business and you can do that confidently, and you have a privilege. I'm going off script again, but you have a privilege. Okay. And you guys, just as a reminder, these go 90 minutes. I know that most of you know this, but I'm recording for that purpose. So if you do have to hop off, if you're used to the 60 minutes, these are 90. But you have a privilege that you get to run and operate your own business. You have a privilege that you get to choose your schedule. You are privileged to know that you have a community of people that support you to win, and that you have constant, ongoing, free coaching from the best of the best of the best. Okay. And I'm not tooting my horn. I'm talking about everybody else that talks. I'm just here to fill you with a lot of insightfulness. But still, okay, you are very privileged in that. I can make a decision to go anywhere in the world, stop at the drop of a dime, take my kids and go to the park. I can leave and go on an adventure if I want to. I can go to the grocery store at any time that's convenient for me. I can set appointments for my family at any time I need to. I can operate and work my business while I'm at those doctor's appointments if I really wanted to. I can do this in the middle of the night. I can do this bright in the morning. I can do this at any time because I have the privilege of operating my own business. Okay. And if you've been in it long enough, or if that's your goal, understand that it truly is a privilege, but you now no longer have that boss that's breathing down your neck, right? You now no longer have that person that's saying, you better get it done or your job's at risk. You now no longer have the comfort of knowing every week or other week, I'm going to get paid this much because I work this many hours and I'm salary based or whatever. You don't have that comfort. So it matters that you show up confidently for yourself, but that you're consistent in showing up because you are your boss. We are not your boss. I cannot discipline you for not showing up for your business. The only consequence that happens is yours and the rest of your team if we're building on you and we're running and we're growing together. If I don't show up, actually, well, Steve, I'm putting you again on a little pedestal here, but if none of us showed up tomorrow or next month, and we chose to just let the business go. We didn't do these trainings anymore. We didn't show up for team Zooms. We didn't order. We didn't wear our patches. We weren't talking about the product. We didn't invite people to the opportunity call. It doesn't just affect you. It affects Steve. It affects your leadership. It affects your team, the people that have signed with you. It matters. Okay. Leadership equals responsibility, meaning show up, be authentic for yourself, and be consistent about it. So make sure that you're inviting people. Okay. And then going hand in hand with what we just said, building a supportive environment is crucial for retaining those new recruits. How many of you see the welcome post in Miracle Workers every day, week? You see them? How many of you comment? How many of you make it an effort? You're like, oh, I got to welcome this new person. And I'm so happy you're here. Welcome, welcome, welcome. You make that person feel loved, right? It's like if you had a new couple come into your church, you would open wide arms and you'd, oh, come on in. Let's love you, right? New neighbor, you might bring them. I wish neighbors still did that, brought casserole dishes or so. I live in the middle of nowhere, but I would do it. I'd be like, I brought you a Jell-O mold just to say I did it, but that's how we need our new people to feel. They need to feel a part of the community. They need to know from the moment they jump in, that same energy they had with your three-way when, you were on a three-way with maybe Steve or Carrie or myself or someone else, and they're talking and they're getting hyped up and they're so excited. Wait till you meet our community. Wait till you meet our people. You guys, that goes hand in hand with the things I talk about on three-ways. I'm like, listen, okay, the product is great, but our people are amazing. We show up for each other. We support each other. We encourage each other. We love on each other. We empower each other. We show up in so many ways. We truly are like a family when they join your team. Every bit of the energy it took you to recruit them, you will need to maintain to keep them. Do you understand? So you have to show up authentically. Otherwise, it's going to fumble very quickly in your face. Okay. So implement different mentorship or a buddy system to make sure they have guidance. Get them into the guide section in Miracle Workers. That's going to show them, sorry, my alarm went off there. That's going to show them what they need to do, initially getting started. It takes the pressure off of you. Welcome them in the group. Get on Monday night calls. Welcome them then. Make sure they feel seen, noticed, heard, valued. 100% build that community. What ideas, and I'd love for you guys just to ponder this, but what ideas do you have that we could better our welcome system? Like we've thrown out doing a weekly Zoom or a monthly Zoom where we just welcome all of our new people. So instead of doing that, we've done it on Monday night calls. But what are some ways that you think would improve that? And I don't need you to write it down here or just put it in the comments, but I would love to know, because we're always looking for your advice, right? What is another way we could welcome them, or how can we enhance our environment to be more welcoming to our new teammates? Or what are some things we have to maintain? One of those ideas would be a drama-free area. Drama-free zone. We've got some negative Nancy's that just come in and they haven't been loved on enough from us yet. So they're still kind of negative. We have to remain and make sure that stuff is nipped. We don't have it here. Okay, let's talk about the power of passion, okay? Because we cannot overlook the significance of passion. We have to stay engaged with continuous learning. We have to attend corporate events, team events, read inspiring books, connect with success stories, plug into testimonies, show up and plug into the Zooms that are offered to you. It matters. When it comes to feeling passionate about what you're doing, you have to stay plugged in. If I disconnect, and this happens, this is real. Listen, if I disconnect for a week or two and I don't host any Zooms, okay, I am depressed. I am lost. I feel so disconnected, and the enemy tries to tell me, oh, those people are making plans without you. And I'm going, why am I getting pushed out? But the reality is, Carrie has said this to me. She's like, you needed a break. You were sick. And I was like, I know, but I feel so disconnected and I miss everyone. It matters. It matters for your rapport. It matters for your confidence. It matters because the rest of the world is out there and there's a lot of naysayers. And in order to equip yourselves, you have to be around people that are going to build you up. So ask to be mentored by someone who's already doing what you're doing. Follow people that are leading by example, because passion not only fuels your motivation, but it's contagious. Right? If I came on here and I was like, hey, you guys, let's teach you, you'd be kind of bored. You'd probably be sleeping by now. But I keep it fun by making myself look silly or by talking or by having energy. I'm passionate about what we do. Otherwise, I wouldn't have invested almost 2 years of my life sharing with all of you and with my network what we do. I'm passionate about it. It matters. It shines. And when you get on those lives or you get to the vendor events or you're on a 3-way call or you're doing all those things, it's important that you maintain that. The 3-way call, I will say something Steve mentioned earlier, like someone got on and was just sharing and oversharing. You guys, those 3-way calls, you get on, you introduce, you be quiet. Learn everything you can learn on those 3-way calls. Learn how the communication or the conversation flows. Even if they're saying the same thing you already said, just let it happen. And when it's the right time, that person that's leading that 3-way call will invite you back into the conversation. Okay. So think about, what books you've read recently that have inspired you, what things you're doing to allow you the passion. Okay. And then lastly, believing in yourself and keeping faith in our mission is essential. You have to, like we did for that 17 seconds, visualize your success, set clear goals, know where you're going, know how you're getting there. And if you don't know, if any of you were like, I'm going to become president this year in the sense of Super Patch, you better know how. Right? It's not enough to just say, I'm going to. You have to know how you're going to get there. And then consider keeping like a gratitude journal just to maintain, a positive mindset. It's important that on your days where you feel like crap and you're worried that nothing's going your way, that you can go back on the things that have happened good in your life. It's just a bad moment, right? Steve says, don't quit on a bad day. It's important. There are some bad days I have thought about quitting, and I've had to remember that statement in my mind. Don't quit on a bad day. Don't quit. It's just a bad moment. So lastly, there's a few things we'll do here. We're going to take some action steps before I let you go. But I just want you to set a personal goal for yourself in the sense of recruiting. Okay. What I mean by that is the number of people you're going to reach out to. Remembering it's a numbers game, right? Remembering that it matters, that if you just stop after one or two, that it could be that you have to talk to 8 people before 2 people tell you yes. You might have to talk to 100 people before 20 tell you yes. That's the hard truth about network marketing. If you stop talking to people, you stop recruiting. If you get comfortable with your surroundings and we're only ever talking Super Patch or the business or all of these techniques here on Zoom and you don't take it to the rest of the world, it's all in vain. It really is. And that goes back to the story I shared with you earlier. I'm honest. I plugged in so much to pouring into our community, and I love doing it. I'm not going to stop, that I forgot about sharing to my network. So I became a big deal here, but nobody knows what I'm doing outside of here. Okay. It's not enough for me to just have a presence in here. I have to have a presence outside of there too. They have to know. So I encourage you to set up kind of an idea. Now, a fun thing is our driver's bonus is doubled this month in January. Retros back to the first. So if you've enrolled anyone with a Pan Am kit or above, so instead of being $200, it's $400. And my encouragement to you is for you all to run for it. And if you don't have anyone in mind, maybe there's no one on your list just yet, I'm going to give you some suggestions. So we're going to write down 5 of our patches. I'm going to give you the list, and then we're going to write those people that we know that will benefit from these patches. Just one name. Okay. And this is a twist on Carrie's contact bingo. She shared this last week and I thought it was brilliant. Okay. And I've actually not done my list on purpose so that I could share with all of you. So the first patch is Liberty. I want you to write down the name of someone that you can share Liberty with this week. The next one is Freedom. I want you to write down someone you can share freedom with this week. Next one would be Peace. Then Rem. So who can you share Rem with this week? And then lastly, Boost. Who needs more energy? And maybe you have more than one person you can think of. That's okay too. Write them down. But for right now, at least have 5 names written down, at least 5, so that you can reach out and you can share with these people. Okay. Who has 5 names written down? It's okay. Who has 4 names? At least 3? Okay, good, good. If you have 0 names, we need to talk, okay? We need to talk about where you can find those people and coming out of your comfort zone just a little bit, because you all have 5 people in your network, maybe in your phone, or people we're hesitant to reach out to because we're scared of what they'll say. Sometimes they're just waiting, okay? All right, so those 5 people are who you're going to go through. And if you can't think of anyone, another suggestion I would have is that you intentionally scroll. So I'll set a timer on my phone and I'll be like, okay, I'm going to scroll for 5 minutes. And I will intentionally scroll whatever platform I'm on, looking for people I can help. And then I start conversations with them. I do not message them and say, hey, I got a super patch for you. I start conversations with them and let it organically reach that conversation point. Okay, so now I'd like to hear from all of you. While we have a couple minutes left, I just want to hear some questions or insights you have, anything you'd like to share based on your recruiting experience or your business experience here. We've got a few minutes, so feel free to raise your hand or unmute first, and then whoever's in line, just raise your hand, and anything you'd like to share.
Hey, Crystal, it's Mary.
Hi, Mary, and then Dana.
I just wanted to share something that I had heard that I think goes really well with sometimes I've heard people say, well, I don't have anyone going on the opportunity meeting and it's always the same. And, but I heard this saying and I put it in the chat. What gets repeated gets remembered. What gets remembered gets repeated. And when you're constantly hearing Steve do the message or other things, it's like it's sinking in your brain. And it's important, it's like training your brain, and all of a sudden those words are there for you to speak. It's kind of like, oh, where did that come from? Maybe from listening to that opportunity Zoom, every Tuesday, so just, don't not show up just because you don't have someone that's going to be on the Zoom. Show up for you because you gain a lot out of it. And thank you very much, Steve. And you too.
Yeah, that's
Crystal,
amazing.
thank you.
No, I was writing down what you said too. What gets repeated gets remembered. What gets remembered gets repeated.
Correct.
Yeah, I love that. I love that so much. And I agree with that statement, Mary, because there's so many things. Sometimes this is silly. You guys, I go back and watch my own trainings. No joke. I do because I learned something from myself every single time. And I have been self-mentored for a long time, which is awful for me. I finally engaged into learning and growing from other people. John C. Maxwell, I'm excited for that mentorship. He's someone I look up to. But I can attest to that, Mary. What gets repeated gets remembered. What gets remembered gets repeated. And it's true because sometimes I'm like, how do I know that? Like how do I know that? That's awesome. And so I love that so much. Dana, you were up next and then Esther.
All right. I was just gonna say, when I used to do sales and such, I used to get complimented by my bosses a lot because they were like, my building my rapport was so good. And I just told them, I was like, well, because I have a conversation with the person. Telling your story and discovery, that's really a conversation. That's just like somebody you meet at church and that somebody is a potential new friend, right? And you're just really giving them having a conversation with them that you genuinely want to know about that person. And people pick up on that. And that's what I used to do when I was on the phones all the time. I would pretend my monitor was a person. I was actually looking at the person and pretending. And when we're doing events or when you see somebody, I'm not real good at just walking up to somebody in a grocery store, but I can events I can do it. But just having a conversation and really just trying to get to know that person genuinely, authentically.
Authentically, yes, definitely. And you're such a likable person. I think that you just get in your head a little bit too. I remember the first time Dana and I met was last Orlando event. She walked up, she's like, "You know my name?" And I was like, "Of course I know your name. I see you every day." I was like, "Of course I know your name." You are a rememberable person. People like you and you are a likable person. And it is true, and you have the experience too, Dana. That's important to remember when you're talking to people is you know what to say. You know how to authentically reach them, but having that conversation and coming from a place of love and really truly wanting to share what you have, but not more so like you can't be so eager to share what you have before you can listen to what their baggage is, because that's how you learn what to share, right? I used to do Filter Queen demonstrations inside their homes. So basically, I get to go into homes. I was really good at what I did. I was top in the nation 2 years after I left. I was so good. Okay. And that's not to toot my horn. That's to say, I got out to those places and I learned a lot from them. Okay. And I would listen to them and I would listen to, well, we deal with allergies and this is always dusty and we deal with these things and that's too heavy to use, or, different things like that. And that would allow me to know these selling points, right? That I would need to share with them to know that they would want to invest in my product. Now, I left that industry because I felt like I was just making people feel gross and dirty about themselves all the time. And so I was away from my family. The money was great, but it was too much. So I didn't feel like I could authentically show up. Yes, I believed in the product. I actually outbid like a 90-year-old man at an auction last year for a Filter Queen vacuum because I know how much they're worth. And I was like, I'm getting that. My husband's like, you're not going to walk out of here, sir. She's getting it. So I still believe in the product, but it was the way I had to go about helping them that I didn't believe in. I didn't like that I had to pry into their lives for my own gain. With Super Patch, it's different. with Super Patch, I know that when I authentically have a conversation with that person and they pour on to me all of the things they're struggling with, I have something that can help them. Right. I know that through that, I have something that they can share with others that will help people they love too. So it matters, those conversations. Thank you, Dana. Esther.
Yes. Within the last 5 years or so with other business, I have a list of names that people wanted more information, that kind of thing, in my phone. Should I do anything with those names or should I delete them?
Don't you dare. Don't you dare delete those names. Yeah, you should. Yeah, you should. Actually, I just enrolled someone that has sent, and you would call them cold messages, but they're leads that she's had of these people that wanted more information. And she's literally just sent out like, hey, I found something incredible. I'd love to have a conversation with you. Kind of a little bit of a script that she came up with though. So I mean, pretty much what we send to people is our script. So for her, she just created something, she sent it out, and she's already had customers and people and lots of conversations. The only suggestion I'll have for you is that when you send it, be ready to answer calls and texts, be ready to have conversations. Same with when you post, you guys post like engagement post, same thing. Be ready to answer those and follow up. Esther, if you want, and well, I can ask her to post kind of what she shared in that
Yes.
text. Let me just write that down.
Yes, that would be perfect. I definitely love to play off, make it my own, but get ideas.
Yeah, and that's what we always want to do. We want to make it our own, and that's exactly what Steve was saying earlier. You just listen and you learn that information, you get it there, and then it comes out naturally for you. But I agree. But I would say no, don't you dare delete those. You have
Okay.
conversations with those people, because even if you were collecting, say you were collecting because people were interested in home and garden, okay? Let's say something really basic. All of those people still either they are or they know people that struggle in the ways that we have solutions for. So definitely keep them. And you've already got somewhat of a, so you just ask for forgiveness, like, hey, I know it's been a long time. What have you been up to? This is what I've been doing. And you can go about it very directly, or you can just naturally start conversations. I appreciate the direct approach. If I know someone's just messaging me for, to get to their point, I can see right through it pretty quickly. But I've also been doing this for a long time, even before network marketing, MLM. I was in those sales, so I know what to look for. So I prefer the direct approach. Hey, how are you? I still want to be friends with them. I still want to know about them. But hey, I'm reaching out. I know it's been a long time. I hope that things are well, but I found something that's really, truly helped me and so many other people. I was wondering if I could tell you about it. But there's a little bit more meat to it that she put in that text that I think that you would appreciate. That gives it a little bit more like, this is what it is I offer. And so I will ask her to post that, or I will post something, and everyone, we can get that. Okay.
Perfect.
Kim.
Thank you.
Yeah, you're welcome. Kim, what have you got?
It took me a minute, sorry. Just an idea of what I've been kind of doing for preparing for like when I really start doing vendor events. I'd show you here. I've got plenty. I've saved all my packaging from the patches
Yeah, me too.
so that I can use these to do like when I give out samples, do like if I do like 2 or 4 or something like that, that I got these on hand, then people have the packaging that they can kind of read on
Yep.
so that they've got it. Just an idea of what I've been
Love that.
working towards with preparing when I really start, just so that I've got them. Then people have the information on the packaging as well.
I like that. One suggestion I would have for you is, unless you're already throwing like your card or a brochure in there, is to get little labels and just write your info, or not write, but print out your information on those little labels and stick them on the package. That would be one thing that I would suggest, just so that, when they're looking at it, they don't just go right to the website.
I've got business cards that I can stick in there as well.
Yeah, perfect. Yeah, that's great. I love that. I love that you kept all of them. Can you hold them up one more time, Kim? And I'm certain these probably aren't all the ones she's worn, but okay. You guys see all that?
I've worn all of them. They're empty packaging that I've saved. So I've got probably 40 plus packaging.
You know what that tells me about Kim? She's buildable. She shows up. She purchases, she orders, she wears her product. That matters. When I look down, and we've talked about this before, but when I look down into my organization, I see certain people that, or how many people are not active. It makes my stomach turn. It actually physically makes me sick because not because I didn't make money off those people last month, but because I know those people aren't wearing their patches. I know, and I know for myself, I can't even function without my patches. You know, I walked down a flight of stairs in Orlando by myself because of these patches. You know, so I love that you keep them, Kim. I love seeing how many you've worn and how much they've helped you. So I absolutely love that. Okay, so that's what we've got for today. I'm really excited because I think that we've kind of touched base on a lot of things, and I hope that, you know, this kind of helps you as you proceed in your recruitment and enrolling. New people are the blood of our organization, not because, like we talked about this before, right? Not because we just always want new people and the people that are here aren't valuable, but because that energy matters. The new excitement matters. Okay. And new people coming in means you can grow. You can't grow when you stand here alone, and you can't build and promote to the next level if you don't bring people onto your team. Okay. You don't have to be a master recruiter. You just have to master showing up. Okay. You just have to master being you, authentically you, not afraid of what people are going to say, not afraid if you're someone that slips the F-bomb, slip the F-bomb. If you are someone that gets energetic and excited, be energetic and excited. If you are kind of chilled and laid back, be that person, because that same energy is what's going to attract the people you're looking for, the right people into your network, into your life, onto your team, and they're going to expect that energy from you all the time. So if we came and showed up again, negative Nancy's, it would matter. Okay. So last thing, make sure you invite people tonight to our opportunity call. Do not miss it. Join in, listen in. You guys don't even have to be on camera. It's so easy for you tonight. But join in and listen, and invite people. Get them in front of the opportunity. Get them in front of the information. Invite them as many times as you need to. Hey, I know you tuned in last week, but I'm wondering if you'd like to listen again or if you had any questions. Follow up with them if you have to during it and after immediately. Don't let them sleep on it. Follow up immediately. Find out where they're at. Find out if they're a customer or a customer wants to get paid, and then get them on a three-way. Close it. This is your business. I know we all want to be friends and we want to help everyone. But the only way that the business side grows is if you close on those deals, right? You bring new people in, you get them to purchase your product. But it's not too hard when we're coming from an authentic place, when we know that it's going to help them. So that is what I've got for you today. Thank you so much for tuning in again to Miracle Moments. It's been fun. And yes, Galen, did someone have a question? Galen, are you raising your hand?
Yeah.
Go ahead.
Can I share something? So
Yeah.
I've been watching Teresa, and she's my leadership, and she has been recording the Tuesday night calls on her phone, and I've had Jess do it. She's been getting people on her. She's been following up with that. So that might be an idea too, to do a live on Facebook, a live on Instagram with the recording of Steve as he's doing it. Just put it on live and see what happens and follow up with those people. If you can't get them on any other way, do it that way, because people are watching. And the more people does this on these Facebook Lives and Instagram, they're going to be like, what's going on?
Yeah. I love that idea. I think that's great. So just another way we can build together, you guys. And this is why our community is so important, is we share these ideas. So moving forward, just so you know, before we close out, if any of you have anything you want to teach on, if any of you have anything you're confident or passionate about, doesn't even matter if you're super confident. It could be 10 minutes. It could be the entire session. We want to hear from you. Okay. You showed up. You're a leader. Leadership is a choice, not a title. Okay. You showed up. Lori, did you have something?
Yeah, I did. I wanted to, for those people that have iPhones or even the Android, from a technology standpoint, one of the best ways, I'm not sure who just shared that idea about sharing it if you're live, is simulcast it to your TV so it's bigger, so people can see that. And that's my intention. I have 4 to 6 people tonight that I've already reached out to for Steve's. You're talking about Steve's call tonight, right?
Yep.
Yeah. That I want them to, to see our leadership, to see what's going on. But I only have a 50-inch TV, but it's better than looking at a 4x6 screen or a 2x4 screen, that people can actually see it, and they can see I'm watching it at home. I don't have to be in a fancy restaurant or anything else to share it with anybody. Life is going to happen. My dogs are going to be running around, and they're going to play. It's life. You're being real. You're being authentic. You're being, you're just living.
Yeah, welcome them into your life. Welcome them into your reality.
Yeah. And the other thing I just wanted to quick say is regarding runners. Even though I have talked to a lot of people, and some are just in quick opportune meetings, and they just either they say, you know what, I'll look at your webpage or something like that. I think it's I'd like to see, kind of, I guess it's that scripting that you were talking about, getting comfortable with yourself and what you talk about and how you talk. I think that's what I was trying to say. It is that authenticity. So that's it. I'm done.
A lot. That's awesome. No, it was great insight. I love that so much. Just get comfortable with what you're sharing and find out what works best for you, and don't stop at inviting. Don't stop at inviting, follow up. That matters. And when you're recruiting, you're seeking. I think many of us are past the dating phase, but if we were seeking someone to be a potential spouse, right, or partner, we would actively work at that. You have to actively work at the people you're looking to recruit into your life, because it is kind of an intimate conversation. It is kind of an intimate relationship when you're working side by side as business partners. So I love you guys so much. Thank you so much for joining me again this morning. I will see you again soon. I'll have this recording. We'll put it up. And, like I said, we'll see you tonight for the Opportunity Zoom. So see you later.
Thanks, Crystal.
Thank you.